Do you think there's any Indian bikini pro who can come close to you, let alone beating you?
I said it then, I'll say it now. I will be the first Indian girl to be qualified for the Olympiad.
Well, you heard it here first.
That is what I striving to be. People who do have both, right? The hard work and the genetics,
And you have both.
I have both.
And I want you to like give me a rating out of 1 to 10. Like where do you rate them in terms of like their chances of making a top 10? What are the drugs? How important are the drugs like whether it's anavars and stanozoles and growth hormones and peptides and all that? Good day everyone, welcome to Boss Show, and today I have with me, I don't think she needs much of an introduction. She is one of the leading bikini pros from India, and I think sky's the limit, and she recently won a pro card about, how long was that ago? December, so it's barely 8 months ago. She absolutely crushed her lineup. I think when you say landslide victories, they don't come anymore landslide. So the very wonderful, very talented, and huge future, the Ifbb Bikini Pro, Dakini.
Thank you for having me.
No, you're welcome. Dakini, question straight out the bat. You won the Bikini Pro in December. So tell me, how was the competition? Did you at any stage feel, this is tough, or you were pretty clear that I'm going to smash this?
No, I knew I was going to win. Because the thing is, like, I did my best. I looked like a pro. I felt like I deserved to be a pro before I even got on stage.
Okay.
So I did not have doubts, but I obviously cannot like predict who's going to show up or anything. But I definitely knew in myself that I looked like a pro. So
you had pretty good clarity.
Yeah.
So you had pretty good clarity.
Yeah.
When it comes to diet, okay, how tall are you and how much do you weigh in your off season?
Okay, so I'm like 5'3", and then I'm gonna be honest, like I have never had a proper or a stable off season.
Sure. What's the heaviest you've gotten?
Probably after my first competition, I did not know anything. I just like blew up. I got to where I started my journey, right? Like at 73, 74.
Wow, that's a lot of weight for somebody your height.
Yeah.
And when you got on stage in December, what was your weight then? Around roughly?
I was around 50.
50?
Yeah.
Okay.
And this time around, I gained weight, but I still chose healthy food. As opposed to like my first competition, I just went out. I'm like, this is over. I'm done. I think it's not just about where you stand in this industry, but as you keep competing, your maturity goes up. It doesn't matter if you're like a pro or you're an amateur. An amateur who can be more mature than a pro.
Yeah, there are plenty like that.
So I won my pro card in my second competition, and I act like a pro on season, but off season, but it's also because like my nervous system is built different.
Sure.
My prep was very different, and I have a different body type. I can't expect to stay lean for a long time. So I had to gain weight to actually bring my body to feeling like it's
back to
homeostasis, right? So, but I didn't go beyond that.
What's the weight you got up to this time in your office between December and now?
Around like 64, 66.
Okay, 64, 66.
Yeah, and that is still 10 kilos.
Yeah, more than you said.
Lighter
than what you had previously done.
So the 64-ish, 66. This is my normal weight.
So healthy weight.
That's my healthy weight, and my healthy
is comfortable.
Very different from
somebody else's. Yeah.
Somebody else's, right? And yeah, so.
So do you count calories, or you just like follow certain foods? How does it work when you're like 10 weeks, 12 weeks out from the show?
No, I have a meal plan.
Okay, so did you ever get around to like counting how many calories you want to ask your coach?
So the plan that I get, it includes the meal plan as well as how many calories are there.
Yeah.
Honestly, I have gone down to 600 calories.
Yes, that was one of the questions I wanted to sort of like. The reason I was using that as a segue because a lot of people have these myths around how low the calories can be or how low the calories should go. And sometimes you see coaches online saying, oh, if your coach has got you below sort of 1200 calories, he's going to kill you, honey, blah blah blah. So, and you all have seen Dakini's last stage presence. She looked like an Olympian, let alone being a pro. And I have said earlier also, I think she's probably the number one bikini pro in the country, and that's me objectively speaking. So, and you had to really literally go down to like 600, 700 calories. And with that, how much was your cardio on top of that?
I was doing like 2.5 hours, two and a half.
2.5 hours of cardio and about 1 hour weight training a day?
1.5 to 2.
So, okay.
So I train legs the most, like my glutes, like 4 days a week. So it's gonna take around 1.5 to 2 anyways, because like it's not like smaller muscle where you can just like finish it up quick and go, right? And plus the number of variations per day is also a lot.
So would I be right in saying or understanding you rather that at the deep end of your prep, which is probably this is you're talking like 3 or 4 weeks out kind of a stage?
To be honest, see, every prep is different, right? So I'm doing 2.5 hours of cardio right now.
Sure.
For my show that is 10 weeks away.
So so to summarize it, so at the peak of her cut in the last show, she was on 600 to 800 calories. 1.5 to 2.5 hours of cardio at the top end, 2.5 hours of cardio, then 1 to 1.5 to 2 hours of training. So in a day, she was putting in anywhere between 3 to 4 hours of training and cardio combined. On top of that, she was on 600 to 700 calories. So you can imagine the calorie deficit she was in to get into the shape that she was on stage. And you can see from these images, how she looked on stage. And you can see her glutes, you can see her midline, waistline, I call her the girl with the vanishing waist act, it's really tight, and she looked like a pro. So, so now when you want that low calories, what are the two greatest challenges you faced, like one physically and one mentally? What were your two greatest challenges? What's the one you want to sort of, tell the girls who want to be like getting into bikini comps?
So it's different for people, right?
Sure.
So I am eating right now around 1,000 calories and burning around 950 calories worth of cardio, which is almost the same as what I was doing towards the end of my show, right? But I was already lean enough. Here now, I don't have enough time.
Yeah.
But then I'm more stable than I was towards the end of my competition because I still have fat, and that it makes a lot of difference whether you have fat on your body or not. It doesn't matter if your calories are too low or cardio is high. But to me, at the end of the day, it comes down to my level of body fat that determines how hard everything feels. I cannot open my eyes, like when I'm like I'm withered out.
Operating on a zombie mode.
I'm withered out. I cannot open my eyes. It's just hard to sit.
It's draining.
It's hard to sit. Like everything starts aching just to sit. And mentally, I have a very sensitive nervous system, and everything like mentally, it's just like
everything
very
magnifies
bad.
for you.
Yeah, it does.
Now, I have a question for you. You have an overseas coach you're working with, James, from
Canada.
Yeah, he's from Canada. I always forget his team's name.
Atlas.
Team Atlas, right? Now, did you have an Indian coach before him, or you did your own prep, or was it like you're not really anyone in seriously?
So the first time around, I had like a local person, but I never knew anything about competing. And then I did hire an Indian coach. After that, my first that was for 2-3 months. After my first competition, I moved to a different coach, but that didn't work out well. So I know to do things on my own. The reason why I'm able to sustain being in the sport is, I may gain weight, but I know what to do on my own.
Sure.
That
so you just needed somebody to sort of like fine tune it.
My main concern is the peak week.
Okay.
I can get shredded on my own. That is not my issue. I can get lean. I can do what I want. I know.
You know, and mentally also you can handle it. Okay.
Yeah.
So why James? Why Team Atlas?
I think it's a detail, the attention to detail. Like
Sure.
he takes care of every single thing. It's not just about how your body is, but your hair, your makeup, your tanning, your bikini, and your shoes.
Everything.
Yeah, even like
It's the whole package.
just for an example, like my hair was too curly, and he would ask me to
Straighten it.
straighten it. And see, these are the details
Yeah, these are
with the
details.
makeup, everything.
Yeah.
But but you actually get what you pay for.
Sure.
Yeah, but the thing is like, not a lot of people can follow meal plans like that, and it can get very hard.
It's brutal. I mean, I can tell. You know, I prep people, and I can totally relate with you. That's brutal. You know, you're sitting at 600 calories with 2.5 hours of cardio, an hour and a half of training.
Yeah.
So, well, I mean, besides the detail, what sets James apart in terms of his strategies, in terms of like his peak week or his diet, or what did you like actually find that sets him apart?
I don't know what sets him apart because I've not really worked with a lot
too many people, so there's no
people,
real.
so I don't.
You can't draw a
I can't
comparison.
right? But I do know that the one thing is that he doesn't take no for an answer.
Okay.
You know, it's like he doesn't care. He will get the job done. It's like
So
that.
it's like, this is the plan, you gotta get it done. I don't care how you get it done,
do
you gotta get it done.
Yeah.
Right, that's amazing.
And another thing is that he also only he knows who does that, and he focuses on them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You don't want to be focusing your energy
Right.
on people who are not following it.
Right.
Okay, now we're heading into the Mumbai Pro Show, which is not far off. You obviously had immense confidence in your ability and in your chances of winning. Like early December, you're going against amateurs. Okay,
Yeah.
now you're going against pros. You know, how are you feeling about that? You know, like do you have the same level of confidence, or little jitters, little nerves, or how is it?
I have confidence in my ability to bring the best physique that I can possibly, right? But sometimes there are so many doubts because I did start this prep very later on, and I did have a lot of body fat.
Sure.
Like compared to last year, but I was actually lean for 2 years.
Yes.
Before the last competition.
I remember seeing some of your updates from your
Yeah.
last prep, and you know you looked incredible. You looked stage ready even 4 or 5 weeks out.
No, I was prepping for 2 years, hoping there would be a competition because it kept getting postponed, and I had no choice, but I had to stay lean because I kept hoping, okay, it'll happen. It did.
And then it happened all of a sudden in a way.
Yeah.
So,
But this time around, though, I did start off with a lot of body fat, and I'm at 10 weeks out last time. I was probably half the size I am right now.
So you've got your work cut out. So I understand that. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna put. Do you think there's any Indian bikini pro who can come close to you, let alone beating you? No one.
No.
Absolutely not. And that's like it is. There's quite a few other girls. So at
I said
your
it
best.
then, I'll say it now. I will be the first Indian girl to be qualified for the Olympiad.
Well, you heard it here first,
That
guys.
is what that I am striving to be.
No, I'll actually say that, and I'll actually agree to her. You know, objectively, I put out a post just recently that asking who do you think will be the next Indian to get on the Olympia stage, and we were about to make a video on this, and my take has been that I think Dakini is the next Indian to get to the Olympia stage. Okay, so if besides you, so let's say you've got the number one spot out of the Indian bikini pros covered. Who do you think are the top 2 or 3 names in the Indian bikini pro circuit that you think like these girls are good?
I think Rutuja is good. Rutuja Hegshite.
Yep.
And
She just recently competed.
yes.
What do you? I mean, does it make you nervous with her placing, like you know how she placed and all that? You know,
No.
how do you see her score future in the sport?
See, I'll be honest, right? At the end of the day, if you want to get to the top, it's the genetics.
Yeah.
It plays a lot. It plays a huge role. You can work hard, or you could have genetics, or you could be both. And the people who have both, right? The hard work and the genetics,
And you have both.
I have both. Rutuja's she is her physique is good for bikini, like her proportions, her
at the pro
genetics.
level?
Yeah, I mean, yes, she has the potential.
What about so many other bikini pros in the country?
They all have they all do the work, but I do believe that.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask you a question.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you a name. And I want you to give me a rating out of 1 to 10, where do you rate them in terms of their chances of making a top 10 at the pro level? Okay, Navreet. On a scale of 1 to 10,
I've actually not seen Navreet compete. I've only seen Rutuja's physique in person.
Okay, so you've only seen Rutuja's. Okay, so what about Sunana, who was?
Yeah, she is good. Yeah.
So do you think she would be the second to you in the country? She would beat everybody else?
What's happening?
No, it's hey, look, I mean, I think objectively speaking, I think I'm putting on the spot. These are tough questions, these are questions that nobody wants to sort of answer, because you're always going to offend someone. But at the end of the day, you're not offending someone as a person, you're simply talking about their physique. It doesn't make them a bad person or a lesser person or a better person. You're simply sort of stating what's your opinion on the physique. So, where do you think? So, let's say if Sunana came back and she got on stage.
See, everyone is good in India. They need to build their glutes first.
Okay, but did you see when Sunana won the pro card?
No.
She looked phenomenal.
I actually do not know a lot of people.
That's probably not a bad thing. That keeps you out of trouble.
Yeah.
So since don't know a lot of people. Okay,
and
so.
plus, then one more thing I need to say is that I need to see that person in person. Because I've seen a lot of athletes who look completely different in pictures, and they look jacked in pictures, but in real life they're super skinny and they're just withered, and exactly that's. So I really cannot judge people based off their Instagram pictures. They look completely different. They look very different from their videos to pictures as well.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, okay. So couple more minutes, couple more questions, then done. So okay, so your advice to anybody who wants to become a pro, what sort of monthly expenses or yearly expenses of money we're looking at to actually even try to become a pro?
Okay, so there are different things, which route you're taking. If you're going to an Indian coach, he's probably going to cost you lesser than someone international, right?
Sure.
But that is also, going to an international coach is also going to save up your time. And it's not just international, but an educated coach.
Educated international coach,
And it doesn't have to be international. There could be anyone who coaches bikini well here too. I'm not saying that, right? But someone who knows the category and the division, who understands the division. The first thing I would suggest is to investing in a coach. I did not do that
straight off the bat.
Yeah, I did a lot of. If I had started with the coach, I could have
been a lot further.
In life.
What about
the expenses are a lot. Can we not go? That's a lot.
So it can be a little depressing. So can everyone go there? Okay.
Depressing.
So obviously, there's all sorts of talk, and I think it's kind of hushed under the carpet. What about the drugs? How important are the drugs, whether it's anavars and stanozols and growth hormones and peptides and all that?
Not for bikini.
Not for bikini. But what's your take on all the girls who are actually taking all the drugs?
Here they do abuse a lot, and it's seen, you can tell whether they're taking.
Is it that from you can tell from the voice, or just the face, or the skin, or is it you can just tell?
I think you can just tell. See, when their physique just gets. I don't know how to say it. There's a thin line difference between being feminine and
when becoming masculine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very thin line difference.
There is. Yes, yeah. There's very, very thin line difference.
You could tell with just everything. You just look at a person. You look at a coke addict. you say, you know, right? It's like that.
Okay, well, that's interesting. All right, well.
And bikini does not need anything.
Bikini doesn't need if you have the genetics.
And that is yeah. But then a lot of people think they train intensely, but they actually don't. Okay. That is another thing.
So do you know any other pros competing in this pro show?
I'm pretty sure all Indian pros are going to compete.
All Indian pros are going to compete. And what about any of the overseas girls? Do you know who's coming down? Okay, you don't know. Okay.
I prefer not to
worry about it.
Yeah,
look at other than who's doing what.
I could probably later on, when I'm a week out or something, but not right now. I don't want to mess the process.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Any last message for your fans or friends or your fellow competitors? You want to send them out like a friendly warning and tell them that you prepare for the second position onwards or whatever, or any message to your fans or to say to your friends or fellow competitors?
Just keep going, and when everything feels impossible, there will be a way.
Okay.
That's the thing.
Yeah. Okay. No, that's a pretty good advice. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it from the, as a figuratively speaking, obviously, a horse's mouth. You heard it from Dakini, her predictions, her confidence going into the last pro qualifiers. Obviously, she was proven right. And as I said, it was a landslide victory. She's crushed it. You've heard her thoughts about her views on the fellow Indian pros and where she thinks that they stack up against her. And you've heard what it takes to get into the shape she did, and there's no mincing words. It might look very glamorous when these girls are in the bikini or the makeup is done and it's all glitz and glamour, but on the other side, on the flip side, to get there, I wouldn't call the ugly side, but it's pretty intense. So people think that you can just diet for 2-3 weeks and you can look like that. It doesn't work like that. It's a very intensive process. You need really good coaches who can, getting somebody to drop weight is easy, but getting somebody to drop weight and not lose their very hard-earned muscle, and that in the right places, their hormonal health, mental health, all those are very real challenges. And so any questions or any comments, please feel free to comment below, and we'll try to get answers from Dakini, whatever you ask. But thank you very much for joining us here, Dakini. It was great to have you, and we look forward to seeing you at the pro show. And hopefully, my best wishes to you. I hope you were the first bikini pro from India getting to the Olympia, and may there be other pros from India winning the qualifiers to the Olympia, so there can be more than one. And I think there are some really wonderful rivalries coming up in men's physique. I'm not too sure about the bodybuilding, but men's physique and bikini is going to be the hot categories just for the sheer number of competitors. So all the best, and thank you very much, and see you next time.